Good morning, everyone. I am R. Monica Lakshmi, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Business System in RMD Engineering College. The fifth unit in software design using UMLS Agile methodology. So today we are going to discuss about traditional versus agile model. So what is a traditional model? So traditional, from the term itself, we'll come to know it is an old software development model. So, and this kind of model is used for only simple software. And generally this type of model is preferred by freshers to develop a software. So what are the five phases in traditional model if we see is, first one is requirement analysis phase. The second one is design phase. The third one is implementation phase. The fourth one is testing. And the fifth one is deployment. And finally, we go for the maintenance. So this is the diagrammatical representation of a traditional model. It is going to be a linear structure. So we'll learn this traditional model with a simple example of a railway ticket booking system. In a railway ticket booking system, so for each phase, we'll learn how that particular system is going to work. For a railway ticket booking system, so what is the core functionality? You have to book the ticket. So you have to log in the page, you have to check the availability of the ticket, then we have to, if the tickets are available, we are going to book the ticket, then finally we'll receive the we'll pay it and we'll receive our tickets. Okay, so this is our the core of the project. So what we are going to do in the requirement phase? So we are going to know the requirements for ticket booking system. So what are all the requirements? It is going to be like how many trains are available, so what is the number of seats available in each train, timing of each train. So everything has to be analyzed first, what requirements is needed for that particular system, that is railway ticket booking system. So that is going to be in the requirement phase. So this particular phase takes to about 1.5 to 2 months. They fix each phase for a particular period of time. So for that particular period only, that phase is going to be implemented. The second comes the design phase. So what kind of design? So the design can be in any format. So whatever we have analyzed in the requirement phase, we are going to design it using a diagrammatical representation. The diagrams can be a flowchart or a sequence diagram or a use case diagram. It can be in any format. So simply, if you consider a ticket booking system, what can be a diagrammatical representation? So first we can start with using the start symbol. Then the next is going to be a design decision box, that is whether the you have to log in the page. The particular, if he is a valid user only, we can start booking the ticket. Okay, so we need a valid user ID and password. So yeah, we need a decision box over there. So if it is true, we'll go for the ticket booking. If it is false, now it will be like create a new user ID. We can assign like that. So we have to make a diagrammatical representation of what the system is going to do. That is going to be the design phase. Then after that, we come for the development phase. So development phase is whatever we have designed. So based on that, we are going to develop a coding. So it can be in any language, Java, Python, or any language we use it, and we develop the particular code for the system we have designed earlier. So this development phase may take 3 to 4 months. This is also fixed. Then comes the testing phase. What is the testing? So we have developed, the coding is done, and we have to test whether this particular code is working for the given system or not. Is there any error or something like that? So if we are doing each module, if it is tested individually, it is not unit testing. And once the unit testing is completed, we join 2 to 3 modules together and we check whether it is working properly or not. So this is done in the testing phase. Then comes testing, also is done for some certain period of time. Then comes the deployment. You are going to give the developed software or the tool to the customer who is asked for it. Then finally, if there are any corrections from the customer or the client, we just make those corrections and we maintain the particular software, and the customers will be keep on after some few years, if there are any changes, they'll update it. So these things are going to happen in the traditional model. So it is going to be fixed. Okay, so that is my traditional model. So there are certain features. So in this methodology, testing is done once the development. So after the complete development is done, only the testing is going to be done, and it follows a linear organization structure. Yes, we know, we have seen that in the diagram earlier. The next is client involvement is less. So initially, when the requirement is analyzed, the client involvement will be there, and finally, when you are going to deliver the product to the customer only, you have to you have an involvement with the client. So in between, we don't have any involvement, or customer involvement will not be there in between in any of the phases. Then the fourth point is, it is a fixed development model. So we fix a certain months or certain period for each phase, and there is no change in that. Okay, then development cost is less, because as it is fixed, the cost for developing the by using this methodology is very low. And the final is, it is less used by, so generally the software development firms do not use this traditional model. Then the other type is agile model. So agile model is a time-bound iterative approach to software delivery that builds the software incrementally from start of the project instead of trying to deliver all at once. So in this agile model, it is not going to deliver your software all at once, or it is not going to develop the complete model So it will identify in that particular project which is going to be the core. So it identifies that, and first it starts developing that core project alone. It starts developing that core and planning. So we have several iterations in agile model. So what is iteration? It is also called a sprint. So one iteration we have for 1 to 2 months. We fix the time for one iteration. So that iteration includes, in that iteration we have all the phases like planning phase, design phase, then we have coding phase, then we have deployment, and finally we deliver the product to the customer. For 1.5 to 2 months, what you have created, what model you have designed, you just give it to the customer, get the feedback. So regular feedbacks are welcomed in this agile model. This is going to be the advantage over the previous model. So it is generally used by professionals. So generally all the software, all the software nowadays we are developing is based on the agile model. So it has three phases like project initiation. Second one is sprint. That is, we have several iterations for each project, and the third one is demos. They are going to show the demo of how the project is going to work. So it is going to be repeated for each iteration or sprint. So this is the diagrammatical representation for agile methodology. So for each sprint, as I said, so for each sprint, so I have planning, I design, then develop, test, and one sprint. There is one iteration. It is going to take place for 1.5 to 2 months. It depends on each project. The period for fixed, it is not fixed. It depends on the project, and based on that one sprint. So we fix that sprint based on the project. So then again, we just give it to the customer and get feedback. Then whatever the customer feedbacks are got, we just update it. We are going to update it in a second sprint. So we just add upon our requirements as needed by the customers. So this sprint is going to be, we have n number of sprint. Okay, then what are the features in agile model? So agile development is adaptability. So it adapts for the situation. Then the testing and development process is performed concurrently. So it is not that once the development is done only, it is not going to do the testing. For each sprint or for each iteration, the development is also going to be done. The testing is also going to be done. Then it follows an iterative organization structure. The previous traditional model follows a linear structure. And here the client involvement is high, because for each sprint at the end we just give that particular partial developed software to the customer, and we get the feedback. So client involvement was very high. Then the functionality, so it provides all the functionality, because it is keep on they are talking with the client. So whatever functionality is needed, all the functionalities will be provided here. And it supports the changeable development, it supports the changing environment, and generally it is used by software firm. So, and this is one of the most flexible approach in software management. Then there are certain models based on the agile software development. So the few are listed. There is Scrum, Extreme Programming, Crystal, Dynamic System Development Method, Feature Driven Development. Then why we go for agile? So what is the need for going? So our current era is progressing faster, and our environment is keep on changing, and the tools and everything is keep on changing. Our conventional model, waterfall model, will not support that, because everything is fixed in this conventional model called as waterfall model. So the conventional model fails to deliver to support this the ever changing environment. So for the rapid changing environment, we go for the agile methodology. So we have certain principles. The first principle is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery. So for each iteration, there is a delivery to the customer. So it is going to satisfy the customer at each sprint or each iteration. So it welcomes a changing requirement, and the working software is delivered frequently for each sprint, and builds a project around motivated individuals. So they give a best environment and the support needed, how the job is going to be done in an easy way. Then working software is a primary measure of the progress, and the efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within the development team is a face-to-face. So face-to-face conversation is preferred in agile principles. Then so next one is we have a simple example for this agile, so and the traditional model. So we have two teams, and we are going to develop a project. Okay, so there are two teams for that, and the team leader says that each team has to work on it for some 8 to 9 10 months. He has fixed the time, and the team A is going to develop in one way, and the team B is going to go in one way. So what the project is, they are going to develop a project for a railway ticket booking system. So for that system, how the team A is going to follow a pattern, how team B is going to follow. So what team A is going to do is, they are going to fix the period. Okay, so what period they are going to fix? The period for the first phase, that is requirement analysis, they fix the time for 1.5 months. Then for design, they fix for 1.5 months, they are going to do only the requirement for the ticket booking system. Then the next after 2 months, then again for 1.5 months they are going to fix it for designing. So initially for requirement analysis 1.5, the second for design we have 1.5, then for coding we have 4 months, and for testing we have 2 months. So totally 1.5, 1.5, 3 plus 4, 7, 7 plus for testing we have 2 months. So 7 plus 2, 9 months are completed. So for 9 months they are planned in this way. But team B, so this is the plan of the team B. What they do is they broke into several iterations and they fix the time for each iteration. And for one, see, for instead of spending 1.5 months for requirement gathering, they will decide the core feature. What is the core feature of the particular product designing, and they will do. And for first iteration, they have a planning, they have a design, they have a development of code. Then they do the testing for. But the team A at that point of time for 1.5 months, they'll be in the requirement analysis phase only. But when you see the team B, what they'll be doing is they'll be in 1.5 months they'll complete one iteration, that is they have done a planning for a core for the core feature of the particular software. They have done a planning, they have designed some diagrams, they have partially executed some coding, they have got some result, and they have given that, and they finally they tested. Unit testing is done for that particular module, and they give that partial developed software to the customer or the client. Once it is given, the customer will give some feedback based on the changing environment and changing requirement. That is the changed whatever the changes are that is required by the customer will be done in the second iteration by the team. So when you compare team A and B, that team A at a point of 1.5 months they'll be only in requirement, but team B will be like they have completed a partial software. So this is the advantage of that is team A has followed a waterfall, that is a traditional model, and team B has followed our agile model. So our agile model is generally a preferred model in software development process. Thank you all. So today what is our topic is we have seen what is traditional model, what are the advantages in traditional, and how it is how it can be differentiated from agile. So agile is more advantageous when compared to our traditional model, and it is generally preferred in nowadays all projects move with this agile methodology. Thank you all.